Sacramento State is transitioning to FBS. Conference realignment is always in the news, so we're back here on the Big Mountain to keep you updated. Hey, it's JY back here with the Big Mountain. We have some items to update you on regarding Sacramento State University and their transition to FBS. Much of the information I'm going to provide to you is going to be coming from the university directly. Last Wednesday, it was reported that Sacramento State was planning to file an application with the NCAA to transition from FCS to FBS in football. The school had already filed a waiver for this transition as an independent. In order to be an independent at the FBS level, it does require NCAA approval. If you've been following us here on the Big Mountain, you know that we've been following Sac State here pretty closely for many months, providing you with many updates over these months. And to us, it's been pretty clear that they were likely to be going to FBS as an independent. And here we are. That's what the Hornets are going to be doing. To provide clarity here on the current ongoings and their transition plan, again, I spoke directly to the university. I want to make sure everybody's aware of what actually is going on. So on Friday of last week, the application was filed with the NCAA. The waiver to transition as an independent had already been filed previous to that. The university explained to me that while the NCAA was reviewing that waiver, they instructed the university that they would also need the full application, and the application is what hit the news last week. At this point, it appears that both the application and the waiver are being reviewed by the NCAA together, and the university is expecting a combined response. As of the timing for this response, the FBS Oversight Committee meets regularly. In fact, they have a meeting later this week. As of right now, it is not known whether the Sac State application and waiver are going to be on the agenda for this week. However, the university does expect an answer from the Oversight Committee here before too long. So they do not anticipate this taking a very long time for the committee to bring this up as an agenda item. While the Big Mountain believes here that Sac State is really striking while the iron is hot, kind of hitting a window in time where they may not have this opportunity depending on what happens with House and what happens with new governance. Clearly, they're seeing an opportunity here. They're seeing value in making this decision and this move right now. I've seen some questioning about this on some of the socials. If they're prepared to do this, I can assure you, I can tell you that a lot of research has been done, consulting has been done here in order to finalize this decision and make sure it really is a decision that best benefits Sacramento State University and their athletes. From a market value standpoint, the Sac-12 committee paid for a media market analysis to be done for Sacramento State. If you remember, we spoke with one of the co-chairs of that Sac-12 committee many months ago, Josh Wood. He talked about what the Sac-12 committee was trying to do there. And this media market analysis provided one of many data points that they were looking at to, again, ensure that this decision was right now at this time. And again, I can assure you that plenty of research has gone into this by Sacramento State University. And to that point, currently Sacramento State receives about $100,000 a year from the Big Sky Conference in media revenue, $100,000 a year in media revenue from the Big Sky. And while there's absolutely more costs involved in moving a football program to FBS, I have been told that there is an overwhelmingly net benefit to this transition at this time. Again, they're only receiving about $100,000 in media value from the Big Sky. And as any business person will tell you, you have to spend money to earn money. So, in a high-level economics class, you could say, hey, you got to kind of put forth that capital in order to get a good return on capital. And again, it goes back to the discussion I had that they have done their research. They know what kind of media market they have. And as we've said here many times, they're in the top 20 media market here in the country, here being Sacramento. They have a time zone that provides valuable inventory to those late window games. We've heard that as we've been following the Pac and the Mountain West over the past few months with their media negotiations, looking for new media deals. This time zone, these Western time zones are valuable for the inventory they're providing with those late windows. So here's another one that could be marketed, and it just provides another outlet for a provider to increase their college football offerings. So Sacramento State really has a lot going for it here regarding their media values. And again, they've done that analysis, and they believe they're worth a lot more than just that $100,000 that they're getting in the Big Sky. As for their football schedule, Dr. Wood here stated just last week that the draft schedules are done and agreed upon in principle. He also then stated that conferences have been interested in Sacramento State and looking at scheduling agreements with the Hornets. And also the conferences have been overly supportive or very supportive of the Hornets, being cooperative with them. So again, they can't put anything out. This is all done in principle, kind of handshake agreements. Nothing can be finalized, of course, until there's approval from the NCAA on that. But again, lots of planning has gone into this, and the Hornets have things that they're ready for. Once they get approval, you'll be hearing directly from the university about everything that they have lined up for this transition. So let's lastly talk about Olympic sports. Sac State is unlikely to remain in the Big Sky Conference past this upcoming year. The Big Sky's charter requires that members have football in that conference. And yes, the presidents within the conference could kind of waive that for a member like Sac State. I would guess that's probably unlikely at this point. So I'm not going to say the Big Sky is totally off the table, but I will say it's probably pretty unlikely that Sac State Olympic sports stay in the Big Sky past this next year. And as I've been covering kind of West Coast realignment, there's several conferences that are looking for members, and I think would be a really good spot for the Hornets here in California. So they definitely have options, nothing to be too worried about. Also with the House settlement coming up, we're waiting for finalization of that, hopefully to be very, very soon, possibly today when I'm dropping this episode. But it could create additional opportunities for FCS programs such as Sac State and help position themselves into the future. So something else that they're going to be looking out for, maybe, again, some positives coming out of the House settlement that might help them through this process. I have been told that there are several conferences that have already reached out to Sac State about their Olympic sports and taking all of their Olympic sports. So several conferences are already interested outside of the Big Sky, and other conferences are also interested in affiliate memberships with Sac State. So they certainly seem as if they have a lot going for them. Of course, they have to get this approval first. As I sit here today, I would say that it's likely to occur. I think you're going to see the NCAA approve that. Not guaranteed, nothing ever is, but I think they likely are to get that. And then they'll be able to kind of tell us a little bit more about their plans for scheduling Olympic sports and whatnot like that. So I had to clear some things up. I know there's been some rumors on X I know there's been a little bit of misinformation, but I went directly to the university. I said, can you please instruct me on what's going on with the application, the waiver, and where your scheduling is at? So everything that you've heard regarding those items has come directly from the university for those points. Later this week, I do want to have another discussion on Sacramento State. I want to focus more on basketball, both the men's and the women's. Of course, a lot of news the men's program has right now, hiring their new coach, Bibby, big transfers coming in. I want to talk about women's as well. I think there's going to be news happening there. And also a sport that's very near and dear to my heart, ice hockey, and some information about that. I also want to take a look at scholarship limits within the Big Sky and what they're imposing as a conference, and what maybe Sac State would like to look at here in the future. Trying to get some quotes on that from Dr. Wood himself and what his expectations are for scholarships there for Sac State into the future. So lots going on there with Sac State. I know we have some Hornet fans. We will stay on everything Sac State as they're looking to make this transition. So, hey, we thank you guys for watching this. Yes, the House settlement hearing is coming up. If things are finalized and we get some news on that, we are planning to do some deeper dives into the House settlement once we have some answers on that. As I said, I'm going to stay with Sac State. And Steve's looking into this Michigan issue and if there's more coming for the Michigan football program. The hammer supposedly about to be dropped on Michigan football. So we got a lot going on here on the Big Mountain. We have our live shows every Wednesday night. We'll be doing it again this Wednesday. Would love to have you join us. We'll probably have more Sacramento State news at that time, and I'll be happy to take any of your questions. With that, hey, we thank you guys for watching. Give this one a like. Subscribe if you like our content, and we'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.